Hi, my name is Thomas, and this is my commemorative speech. There's one universal job that every animal in the planet has. There's no training on how to do this job, and there's no one to tell you whether or not you're doing the right or wrong things. Every possible outcome is completely unique from each other. The job I'm referring to is parenthood. It's hard to really ever say if you're ready for parenthood, but the only thing you can do is hope for the best. With all that being said, I'd like to start by thanking my parents, and with this speech, I'd like to give them praise for all that they've done for me. Let's start by talking about the hardships my parents faced. So, according to an article written by Alpirin and Badalova, in 1975, an estimated 125,000 refugees were evacuated from Vietnam to the US, and my mom was part of these refugees. I'm sure you can all imagine how hard it would be to have you uprooted from your home and move to a completely different country where you don't know the language and you don't know anyone except the family that you came with. Now with my father, the story is a little similar. According to an article from the Library of Congress describing Chinese immigration, a law passed in the mid-60s allowed more Chinese immigrants to come to the US. This caused an uprising in the amount of immigrants around 1980s. Now my dad was part of this wave of immigration, coming to the US with his family, looking for jobs and opportunities. Now that's just one of the hardships they faced coming to a completely different country, but another thing they faced was the economic crash in 2008. Now with this financial crisis, it caused a lot of stress for my parents since they owned a business. According to Kimberly Amadeo, the economic crash in 2008 was caused by deregulation of financial derivatives. This caused my parents to eventually lose their business and lose a lot more than just their business. Now, on top of all of the hardships that they faced, they also deserve praise because they did the best that they can with me and my brother. I know that's not saying much, but I mean, that's all they can really do, right? Now with me and my brother, they always wanted to give us more than they had. They always wanted to spoil us. Now my dad always valued education. So since he valued education and he also wanted to spoil us, he cut us a deal. If we get straight A's, then he would just buy us a game because we love playing video games as a kid. So if I got straight A's, he would buy me and my brother a game. If my brother got straight A's, he would buy me and my brother a game. He did this because he didn't want to play favorites. He always tried to make everything even between us. Now, even after the crisis, even when my parents didn't have that much to give, they still chose to spoil us. Even when there's so many times when they said that they didn't have money, and there'd be times when it's like when they said that they did have money. But to be honest, the times when they said they did have money, I can tell that was a lie. Looking back, I can tell that was a lie. Now, they also deserve praise because of how they have changed. Now, with my father, I'm sure you can imagine during these times, it was very stressful for my dad when you don't have that much money and you can't live a comfortable life. Now, I've always seen my dad as a very prideful man. He's always too stubborn to accept help, and he always slaps away the hand that offers help, offers anything to, I don't know, get him back on his feet, anything to help him out a little bit, even if there's no consequences, even if there's no like hidden drawbacks. He's just always been hesitant and always just chooses to do things his way. But I started to notice when I grew up and I started going to college that he started changing the way he thinks about this. He started becoming less prideful. He's realized that it sucks that he can't provide as much as he would like to his family, but he understands that the main priority is his family. And I can really see that he's been trying his best to just give us all that he can, and I really appreciate that. Now with my mom, hers is a little different, but I'm sure anyone who's been growing up has made rash decisions or decisions that they regret in how they treated their parents. And I'm no different from that. There have been many times where I acted out as a kid and I gave my mom, especially my mom, a lot of attitude when she didn't deserve it. And my mom has always been very kind, very gentle, and she's never hit me, she's never yelled back. She's always just taken it and just said, okay. And then she's always tried to remedy the situation. It wasn't until I came back home from college during a break that I learned from my dad that my mom actually doesn't take a lot of the crap that I think she would. She works in a restaurant, and my dad told me that if someone acted the way I did when I was a kid, my mom wouldn't take that from anyone, and she'd dish it back real quick. She'd dish it back just as hard as they're giving it to her. And I found this a little strange, a little surprising, just because that's never been the nature of my mom, or at least that's never the nature that I've seen my mom in. Well, it turns out that she's always just been super kind, super forgiving, super patient with me and my brother. Too much to the point that honestly, I don't think we deserve it. With all that being said, my parents laid the groundwork for our success, both me and my brother, and for that I will always be grateful for them. It's funny because my mom actually gave me this figure right here as a celebration for me graduating graduating from UCSB. But it's ironic because I wouldn't have gone this without them. I wouldn't have been able to accomplish that without them. They sacrificed so much for me, and I look forward to the day that I can finally fully repay them for all that they've done for me. Thank you.